So I bought a cheap drone. The one that I've been using is my friend's, and I wanted to just see what a really cheap one would do in comparison. I bought it, I started flying around with it, and it was terrible. It did not do what I was telling it to do, and I finally kind of fixed the flight issue, and I put it right here. I pressed the flight button, like take off, and the thing shoots up into outer space like a firework. I haven't seen it since. Don't buy Holy Stone, and I hope they get in trouble with the FAA, because that's kind of dangerous. But that thing is disintegrated somewhere. It's probably in Oklahoma by now, Kansas. It literally sent it to space. Also check your boy Jerome, flexed up with the Shanks Shack shirt. Oh, man, this thing's just calling my name. Before we go over what's been done and what's going on, I want to do a Q&A. I've had a lot of questions asked, and I went ahead and went on Instagram, asked you guys what you wanted to know. I'm gonna answer a lot of those questions right now. So the questions that I'm going to answer are just a culmination of just about everybody's common questions. There are some oddly specific ones in here that I really wanted to answer. Like there was one that somebody commented on the original post, like, are your neighbors gonna press charges or file charges? So here we go, I'm gonna read them off my phone. You guys are gonna see them on the screen. Yes, yes. It will be air conditioned and heated. I've been trying to pay Ethan's mechanic to get the motor in at least, but yeah, it does give me an option to actually get stuff like this done. This is gonna be a completely private shop. I love you guys, but for your sake, do not come to my property. It is specifically going to be for me, my own cars. I will never like run a business out of there where somebody brings their car to me and I fix it for them. Like this is my personal property. It is my backyard. This is one of the most commonly asked questions in whatever way, shape, or form. Everybody wants to know how much it costs. Shops vary for a lot of ways. Concrete prices fluctuate. Metal building prices fluctuate. It depends on who your contractor is and how cheap or expensive their labor is. And so after all of it's said and done, sure, if you guys want to know how much HVAC, lifts, tools, the whole outfitting thing goes, I would love to discuss that. Just so you guys can get an idea in your head to budget for a shop like this. If you're in Texas at this time of year and you're getting the same type of equipment that I'm getting, it's a six-figure job. Everybody wants to know how many bays, lifts, and then multi-stories. So it'll be one story. I don't need 2 stories. It's not like, I do not need a loft up top or anything. I have a big house in here with a lot of storage, and we have like 2 offices, 4 bedrooms. Like we have enough space. So I don't need the shop to have like attic space. It's just gonna be for harboring my cars and for working. We're gonna have 2 bays. We're gonna have one adjacent from this single bay right here, and then we're gonna have another one that I'll explain to you a little bit later. We're gonna build a second one and actually pour a little more concrete than intended. How many lifts? We're going to have 2 additional lifts. So we're still gonna have this lift in my garage, and we're gonna do 2 more bend pack lifts. That's another one of my sponsors, and I'm so thankful for them. They are awesome. I love my boys over at Bent Pack. This is one thing I'm super undecided on. Something a lot of people don't understand about Texas is, I mean, I'm sitting in a garage right now with a little bit of airflow and I'm sweating my ass off right now. Texas is not only hot, like Arizona is hot. Texas is hot and humid. If you have an epoxied floor in Texas, most days that epoxied floor gets very, very slippery and dangerous, which also makes it dirtier because the condensation builds up water and dirt and stuff like that. I busted my ass so many times at the old garage because I had an epoxied floor. I'm still thinking about it. I might change my mind and do a 180, but for now I think like a regular base shaved concrete floor is gonna do just fine. Lord willing, it doesn't rain. It takes a full week for concrete to set. After the concrete is set, probably another week and a half. So I'm gonna guess like 3 weeks total and everything should be done. I would like to. That's the point. I would love to. That'd be pretty sick. A lot of people ask about the neighbors. So in Texas, it's very different from you guys, especially you guys up north are freaking the heck out that I am doing this in my backyard. This is super normal to do in Texas. It's not abnormal. One of my neighbors came over and asked if they could have dirt. So I don't really know. Again, somebody was like, can they press charges on you? No, it's literally my property. You guys didn't learn about what America's like. So this is another thing about the shop. Obviously, I've been using a lift for over about a year and a half now. But with this shop, I want to, this is like messing me up right now. With the shop, I want to expand my skill set. I'm gonna get a welder and I wanna start welding. I would love to be able to start straight piping and fabricating my own cars. I would love to start doing my own intercooler kits, own exhausts. It's also fun and it changes up content, and I work so quickly and efficiently that I think I could get all that done really fast, and I could just do whatever I want. A lot of people asked if it was gonna have a bathroom. We're not doing plumbing in it because it's literally 30 feet from my house and I have a bathroom right there. If I need to poop that bad, it's just gonna happen right there on the floor. Also, how many 220 volts? That kind of goes to the last question. There will be a lot. Probably the Lexus. I'm kind of waiting to christen the shop with a fun 2JZ build. And then also maybe some stuff to my sister's car, maybe some stuff for the Supra. One thing I really want to do pretty soon after the shop is open and like running. I want to put the GTE in. That'd be really sick. Most excited is the freedom to do anything. And I love learning. I can't wait to learn how to weld. Even if I'm not gonna be the best in the world at it, I'm gonna be able to do it. And I'm gonna be able to at least do small repairs and patch jobs on cars. Really, my favorite thing though is I'm never really going to have to wait on anybody else again, except for FedEx and maybe Ethan, because he's gonna tune my stuff. And maybe like extensive builds, you know, Ethan will still be in the videos and I'll be going to his shop. I'll still be working with Trackstar a lot, but this prevents me from taking up his time and his mechanics on his builds that he's doing. Every state law is different. My house is outside of city limits and we have no HOA, so literally nobody can tell me what to do on my property. I cannot get in trouble for doing anything on my own property. But no, I don't need permission from the city to do this because I don't live in city limits. If you live inside city limits, you can't pop off fireworks, sucks for you, and you can't build whatever you want because you need a permit. I don't need a building permit because we out here. This is one of the reasons why we spent such a long time finding a house, and this is why this house is so amazing, because it is everything we needed. Yes? Yeah, dude, I'll buy an inflatable pool and we'll have a party as soon as it opens. Everything has been methodically processed and thought out. So much coordination, effort, emails, constant talking over months, and this is all coming to fruition now, and it is the most amazing thing ever. But thank you guys for your questions. If you have any more specific questions, or if I just missed your question, I'm gonna keep doing Q&As either on the ShankShack Instagram page or my own Instagram, so just make sure you follow me there and we can do that. But let's go ahead, I wanna update you guys on the shop.
Tell everybody I agree. I'm gonna 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 try to be your woman. I'm gonna be your woman.
Dude, that's some, okay. Mega stuff. This is my boy Scott. He's my electrician and he's getting everything set up. Oh, dude, he's got the AC too. He's rocking it right now. His brother showed me he has a Duramax. Huge compound turbo setup. Yeah, the black one. Dude, humongous compound setup. Right there. And you're done until they pour? Dude. So this is moving a lot faster than I thought it was going to. This is actually super wild. So they're doing rebar right now. Getting ready to pour concrete. They've got the beams set up. Now they're doing a little bit of grading back there. As you guys saw, there was tons of dirt. Look at all this dirt. All for this shop. This is crazy. Whipping the new Kubota, bro. Wish I was in there right now. That thing is sick. So here's what they've gotten finished. This is like where they're at right now. So they've got all the rebar down and tied up. Poor guys, I would hate to be bending over and like tying that crap up right now, especially in this heat. They've got the tarp down. We actually, I need to go ahead and I need to do a little bit of measuring to see where I'm gonna be putting the lifts. I'm gonna actually have a door right here and we're gonna pave concrete here. I didn't think I was gonna do this, but look at this. This is a great OCD moment right here. Golly, this is a big shop. Is perfectly in line with the furthest part of my driveway. So we're just gonna extend my driveway out and put a bay right here. We're also gonna have one right there adjacent to my shop, or to my garage. We're gonna have a lift here in this corner, and then we're gonna have a lift next to it. So we're gonna have those two bend pack lifts, and it's gonna be so awesome. At the end of last video, there was obviously a huge drop off right here. I talked to them yesterday morning, or I talked to them in the morning whenever they came over last, and was like, hey, like this is bad. We probably need to install some drains or something like that. So what we're gonna do here, they've graded it actually super well. he was kind of hesitant because, like, I mean, this was a lot of stuff going on here. It goes up to our property line, just about to the fence. It's gonna drain down, and then we're gonna have a bunch of French drains down here. Probably gonna have like 4 or 5 drains. It's gonna deviate water to somewhere else on the property. They've also got, we're out here in the country, so we got septic. So they redone the septic. I'm gonna have them pressurize the line and make sure that's all good. I think what's interesting and cool about builds like this is there's so much that goes into construction that, I'm just gonna say normal people, but like typical people that don't do construction just don't know. And there's also a lot of things that I thought through pretty much most of this, but there's a couple things here and there that I'm like, oh, I'm glad we noticed this, or I'm glad I learned this. And so it's pretty cool. And then we also have right here, Scott came over. Scott ended up getting this grounded, and so the electrical is gonna be good. So we're actually gonna have our very own line straight to its own meter, and I'm gonna have my own separate power, separate from the house on this. And that's gonna be super cool because I have my own power bill for the shop, and that's good for accounting purposes. It's good for OCD, like, you know, number people purposes. And so this is, dude, like, this is kind of crazy. I wish I could show you guys the grading differences before and now, but man, like, this is a nice, super gentle slope in the back of the shop, and it's not gonna, like, dirt's not just gonna pour into the back of the shop. So they've got to end up taking their two, I don't know where the other thing is, but they've got to end up taking this and their other Kubota thing, and they've got to end up grading this a little bit more. We're gonna smooth this out. We're gonna go really deep into the yard and just make this like as best as we possibly can, because I mean, it's our house too. We want it to look nice. And so we're gonna grade it to about here. Then we're gonna actually have a fence here in about a month. We don't have an actual backyard for the dogs. We don't want them to run off because they're kind of crazy. But it's just gonna be smooth. We'll replant some new grass and we'll watch it grow throughout the years, and holy crap, that is a lot of dirt. The best thing about this is our neighbors, I mean, you can't really get mad in Texas, especially if you're outside the city and there's no HOA. The only comment we've gotten so far is, hey, I have a farm, can I have some of your dirt? So they don't really care. So we'll go over to their house and introduce ourselves. I'll be like, hey, I'm Evan. I like God, cars, guns, bourbon, and guitars. Nice to meet you. So here you go with a non-bird's eye view just to show you how big this place is. Let me stand on it. This is how big the shop is. I'm standing right in the middle of it. This is crazy. I can envision it now, just like whenever I build cars and they're unmodified, I can already envision the corner of like my welding equipment and my tool benches and all this too. That makes so much space. Maybe a washing detailing area, cars, the couple cars there, 2 lifts there. I'm excited for the space. For an OCD powered mind, space and cleanliness is super, super important for productivity. I might just be building the hell out of cars whenever this is done. At this point, we have concrete scheduled to be poured. There's not much more to do before then. So the next update you guys will have on the shop, the concrete will be poured. Once the concrete is poured, it takes 7 days to actually generate its full PSI, its full structural integrity. And then once the concrete's done, the building goes up really fast. So I would hope the next 2 or 3 weeks, unless it rains, we have a full functioning shop. I can park my cars in here. My car from Japan might be here, so I'm really excited. My daily advice for you guys today, since this update is over, is if you believe in yourself, invest in yourself. If you believe in yourself, invest in yourself. That kind of goes along with what I said last video. At the end of last video, I said, believe in yourself despite what anybody tells you. Believe in yourself despite what anyone has said. If you do believe in yourself, what it takes to be successful is to invest in yourself. I love being good with money. I love money. I'm not even gonna lie. I think everybody in the world really does love money. A lot of people love money. But in order to have a lot of money or a bright future, or to have for my kids to live a comfortable life, my wife to live a comfortable life, I've had to reinvest just about every single dollar. You know, every single dollar has had to be calculated, like, how much of this dollar can I use to reinvest into myself so that I can keep making these dollars for a lifetime. This is happening by the grace of God. I love that I am here. I'm blessed that I'm here. Very thankful. But being wise with my money and knowing what I want for myself has been a huge part of why I'm here. A lot of people haven't seen the big picture, and a lot of people haven't, until recently, I mean, even a lot of my family hasn't understood why I've bought so many cars, or built so many cars, or built a brand of clothing. All of that has been years of planning and hard work and research and investing back into myself. And so I just want to encourage you guys, if you think you got it, put a little money on it. Not to say you should gamble, but I'm just saying. You think you got it, put a little cash on it. See what you can do. I love you guys, and y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Get ready for the Shank Shack. Peace. Hey, you know it's hot in Texas when you hear this. The cicada thing, whatever they're called. Locusts, whatever. Oh, it's windy. Watch those 2 videos. And subscribe.